The average price of a car in the US has skyrocketed to nearly $50,000, marking a 30% jump in the past 5 years. What used to be considered a basic car is now priced at $50,000 or more, and monthly payments are also hitting new highs. It's not uncommon to see certain models crossing the $100,000 mark. A growing number of car owners find themselves underwater, owing more on their loans than the vehicle is worth. Yet, automakers haven't shown much interest in offering more affordable options. Why? Because profit margins are slim and manufacturing costs are high. While Chinese cars are cheap, tariffs are making them less appealing. According to industry insiders, US car makers can't rely on protectionism for much longer. They'll need to slash costs and offer cheaper alternatives to stay competitive. But even without the backing of tariffs, Chinese firms hold a significant advantage. The truth is, the American auto industry will need more than just minor tweaks to catch up. In fact, to make a real difference, car makers need to rethink their entire approach, from how they structure their organizations to how they engage with the market. The rising cost of cars reflects a broader trend. Americans are paying more for nearly everything. Car prices have surged faster than inflation. While they've come down from the pandemic-era highs, they're still far from affordable. How do you feel about the skyrocketing prices of cars in recent years? So, what does the industry consider an affordable car? But before moving further, kindly subscribe to our channel to support us. According to the Center for Automotive Research, a price tag of about $25,000 would be ideal. The average American household spends roughly 15% of their income on transportation, which includes the car, gas, and maintenance. This means around 51% of the population could afford a loan for a $25,000 car at 8% interest over 48 months. But here's the catch. There are very few cars on the market in that price range. Before 2018, cars priced under $20,000 made up about 20% of the market, but those days are long gone. While some models might start at lower prices, no new car in September 2024 was priced below $20,000. In fact, only 6 models were priced under $25,000. On the flip side, the number of cars priced over $60,000 has soared as automakers cater to consumers who demand luxury features. This shift has led to a major gap in the market, and it's possible that ignoring affordable cars could be a strategic mistake. So, why are cars so expensive? First, consider the rise of SUVs. Back in 2009, they made up about 30% of all car sales. By 2019, that number had climbed to over 50%. Americans love their big cars. Ford, for example, launched the EcoSport, a subcompact SUV, which was priced $4,500 more than the Fiesta, despite both vehicles sharing the same platform. The shift towards larger vehicles has contributed significantly to the price hikes. Second, there's the shift in priorities by legacy US automakers. They've made it clear they're focusing on profits, not volume. This means they're willing to sacrifice sales numbers for higher profit margins, a strategy that's been embraced by General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. Under CEO Mary Barra, GM has especially leaned into this strategy. In 2023, both GM and Ford saw their highest profits in over a decade. This shift towards higher-margin vehicles has proven lucrative, but it's also created a market where fewer affordable options exist. But it's not just about profit margins. Automakers have been forced to make massive investments in new technologies, like electric vehicles, software-defined cars, autonomous driving, and advanced safety features. These investments aren't cheap, and they need to generate significant profits to fund the shift from traditional vehicles to electric ones. The US car industry's profitability lags behind other industries. Around 70% of the cost of a car goes toward its production, meaning the actual profits are relatively slim. When automakers meet with their dealerships, a common request is for cheaper vehicles they can sell for a profit. So, what needs to happen for American automakers to reduce their prices? There's hope on the horizon. EVs are expected to get cheaper as battery costs fall faster than expected, and new steel technologies might reduce weight and cost. Platforms used for EVs are versatile, allowing manufacturers to spread costs across different models. For example, the Chevrolet EV costs around $300,000 less than GM's premium Cadillac, even though both cars use the same platform. New manufacturing techniques like Tesla's unboxing method could cut production costs in half, slashing factory size as well. Partnerships between automakers could also be a key to lowering prices. By sharing production lines or collaborating on vehicles for markets where one company doesn't have a presence, costs could be reduced. But before moving further, kindly subscribe to our channel to support us. In addition, having clear and consistent policies around EV incentives and subsidies would make planning easier for companies, unlike the unpredictable regulations currently in place in the US. In contrast, China has been much more stable in its approach to EVs. The country's consistent policies, even when the US was wavering, gave Chinese companies an edge. Many of the low-cost batteries that helped Chinese automakers rise to prominence were developed by US companies. But those businesses didn't get the long-term support they needed and ultimately went bankrupt, only to be bought by Chinese firms. Chinese cars are often accused of being cheap due to government subsidies, but there's more to it than that. Labor wages in China are much lower, and there's significant evidence of forced labor in parts of the battery supply chain. Additionally, environmental regulations are less strict, and many Chinese firms have lower overhead costs. In fact, some of the best Chinese EV startups have a 30% cost advantage over their American counterparts, even without subsidies. To compete with this, US automakers need a complete overhaul of their operations. One area where Chinese companies excel is software. Chinese firms have embraced software-defined vehicles, cars where hardware and software are updated independently, much like computers. This is a stark contrast to traditional vehicles, which rely on limited embedded software. Chinese firms are also faster to develop and scale their products, often using virtual testing to shorten development cycles, while American automakers still rely on extensive physical testing. Chinese companies are also willing to take significant early losses in order to scale quickly. By doing so, they achieve higher volumes, which lowers costs, and they gain valuable experience in the process. Meanwhile, US investors demand short-term profits, making it hard for American car makers to adopt this approach. In conclusion, American automakers need to take a hard look at their strategies if they want to offer affordable cars without compromising on quality. Whether through partnerships, new manufacturing methods, or embracing software-defined vehicles, drastic changes are needed to bring prices down and stay competitive in the evolving automotive landscape. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos.